This is the Apparelist podcast, designed to bring you real-life conversation about high-level topics relevant to the decorated apparel community.
What is up, apparel community, and welcome to another awesome edition of the Apparelist podcast, where we enlist high-level experts to share their advice, their insight on the world of decorated apparel. In this episode, I'm joined by Amy Servey. She is the print practice manager at Clients First Business Solutions, as well as Tom Baltike. He is the partner at Clients First Business Solutions. Today, we are talking about cybersecurity, and this is probably a topic that makes some of you really nervous, probably makes some of your hearts pound just but it doesn't have to be that way. In today's age, it is, not uncommon to see headlines about some data breach, anything like that. But if you have the right things in place and you're protecting yourself, you're going to be good to go. And that's what Tom and Amy are here to talk about today. So, Tom, Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when I first got connected with you guys, it's something you both brought up, but Tom and I talked about extensively is this topic of cyber attacks. And I think we have to talk about it, right? We're almost forced to talk about it in today's world because it's very real. A lot of times you see these happen to big companies, right? The guys who are in the limelight, but that doesn't exclude apparel decorators from experiencing this type of thing, from smaller shops all the way to larger shops. I don't think that anybody is immune to a ransomware attack or to a data breach. So let's kind of start our conversation there. And Tom, we'll start with you, but of course, Amy, feel free to chime in.
Sure.
Why is this such a crucial topic to pay attention to, even for someone like an apparel decorator?
Yeah, great question. Today, we all live in a digital world, right? And decorator apparel companies are sharing information, be it orders online or personal information of their clients coming into their website, providing their logos, their credit card information, right? Just in order to do business. So all of that linking from a digital standpoint, it's our responsibility to protect our clients' information as if it was our own, right? And have that ability of allowing that free reign of access to get to us, to participate with us, to share, graphics information, their projects, but at the same time, protecting and identifying who they are so that if we are charging them, we're charging and shipping to the locations they want us to send that to, and not be having stuff sent to a third-party actor or someone, outside of the business that they're working in. And we see it all the time. One of the most common stats, and I'll use a big player, as you say, like Microsoft. Microsoft is attacked at their main website 100,000 times in an 8-hour period, 24/7. Right.
Wow.
Now that's obnoxious when you think of that type of a volume and what happens. That's over 300,000+ attacks at any given time trying to hit a Microsoft website. And then all you need as a smaller company is one. For example, we have a small company that was doing and purchasing some of their products through a third-party partner that they've worked with and had a relationship for 27 years. And this company was in Southeast Asia. They were buying some material, probably like many of our apparel decorators may buy some shirts or other fabric material and things like that. And that person clicked a button on a inbound email, gave by accident his password, and was able to get their partner here in the US to transfer $400,000 outside of their account into another foreign account. And what we went to the company here in the US and said, had you looked and done just some basic validation information, you would have been able to protect it. But all they saw was, hey, I've had a change in my business structure. I'm no longer with this bank. Will you please now start sending all the payments to the following bank? Yeah. And without validating it, it literally took 6 months for the partner that they were working with to call them and said, why aren't you paying me? And they're like, we've been paying you all the time, from that standpoint.
It just wasn't them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. Well, and Cassandra, on my side, from some experience that I've had, I come from the print segment. I spent about 3 years as a CIO for a print company. But prior to that, and I've been in this space for a long time, as has Tom, but I actually had a short stint in college athletics. And one of the things that's really interesting, even at that level, you think about, contracts and people that are getting drafted and traded. Imagine if an apparel decorator knew in advance that some big, athlete was about to be traded or again, to be drafted, and they were preparing all of these shirts or all this paraphernalia to support that person, and what was happening from the business side. And somebody intercepted that. Imagine if somebody came in and found out that, hey, I don't know, LeBron's getting traded to, the Miami Heat again. And it happened, right? And it somehow there was interference there. That contract, just one contract, could completely decimate a company, and that whole thing with the NBA or the NFL or some college or the NCAA or whatever could just decimate a business. So those things really happen.
Yeah. I mean, $400,000, that'll close its shop. That's it.
Close a shop. And one loss of a contract could close a shop for somebody that's, got some really great relationship with, let's say, again, an NBA contract or an NFL contract or an NCAA contract. I think about that kind of stuff, and that would be devastating.
So when you think of like that term cybersecurity, let's kind of define that. What does that mean? Let's start with you, Tom. I mean, what does that really mean, especially when we're talking about apparel decorators?
Sure. And another great question. So the way we always try to build this up is there's about 4 layers of protection that any company, from a small company to a large enterprise, to really protect themselves, right? And the first basis is, how is your network secured for the traffic coming in and out, right? Now, for a smaller organization, you need the basics, right? You need to have that firewall that is plugged into your cable modem or however you're getting your internet, where your partner is just validating and making sure the right ports are open, right? Think of those ports as the cracks in your mortar to let people in and out of your building, be it physical or virtual, and how that's handled, right? Now, for people that do a lot more business, we usually would recommend more of a managed detection and response capability at that level, where they're actually validating the endpoints, right? Where is this coming from and where is it trying to get to within your network? And, from that base aspect, but then logging yourself in or logging in people to your website, that's what we call access management. So first is your security. The second layer is, how do you or other people get in to validate who they are? Now, before it used to just be, well, your password should change and you should get creative. But nowadays, and with how easy it is to use, multi-factor authentication is the same aspect, if you think of it, like taking your credit card and having the chip in the credit card and now being able to go anywhere in the world without having the need to call that 800 number on the back of your credit card. Because what that multi-factor basically is doing is saying, you've tied this to your email account or you've tied this to your cell phone and you're not leaving home without it. Yeah, you can phrase kind of the old marketing terms from American Express back in the day, right? And what that's basically saying is, I am who I say I am, right? So that's that next layer, that access management. Then on top of that, it's really the threat protection program that we kind of discuss with people. And this is everything from, do you have antivirus on your laptops, on your servers, right? Protecting you from the malware. And that's just the basic. The next piece is, do you have any type of an anti-phishing way of protecting your environment, so that inbound emails that kind of look like your Wells Fargo or your Bank of America account, or that fax that could be coming across, you want to have that anti-phishing to really protect you and warn you, hey, this doesn't look correct, or they've hidden a URL inside of it, right? These things are pennies on the dollar any longer from that aspect. And then one that a lot of people don't think about is, having those passwords protected. A lot of people, right, out there will go, well, I use Chrome and Chrome protects my passwords. No, Chrome holds your passwords and allows you to be open to a malicious malware attack without you ever knowing it by hitting a website. So having your passwords protected across the company, if someone does get in, they can't get to those passwords and then try to mimic who you are. And then the last piece of that is really validating, can you be penetrated, right? And this gets into a penetration testing. And then as a result of that, that test makes you look at your compliance as an organization and puts you through a routine of starting to change habits, right? There's always the let's get it done quick and fast. And quick and fast usually creates a bunch of holes in that cyber mortar for us to protect our firewall, protect our virtual or our brick and mortar location. And just having a couple minutes a day in your process change can really help secure yourself. And Amy, you may want to just touch on that whole penetration testing.
Sure. Yeah. And so one of the things that we have put together as part of our new affinity program membership is a penetration test. And it's a complimentary test that we offer companies that gives them the ability to use up to five email addresses, of which we take those 5 email addresses and we basically, do like Tom was saying, we look for the Swiss cheese within their process and where are all the holes, and then we come back to them with a report that says, hey, here's where all your vulnerabilities are at. And then we can talk with them about, okay, what are you doing, what's in place, and how can we help? So that's been something that we've been able to partner with Printing United on and are part of that affinity program.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, as a member of Printing United Alliance, definitely have access to that, which I think, obviously being a member of the Alliance is a huge deal, but this is a massive benefit. I mean, the fact that y'all will offer this service, this is great for everybody, again, from the small mom and pop all the way up to like these big multi-million-dollar shops.
Yes. Just even the smaller ones who don't have an IT person who's really helping them out. This is where, like he says, one incident could be, super devastating to a smaller company. So let us help you.
Yeah. Something that Tom said that is sticking with me right now is this pennies on the dollar thing. I think a lot of shops will make the argument that they don't want to invest in this kind of stuff because they don't have the money. And that's kind of across the board, right? You hear that about a lot of different services. But the fact of the matter is if you want your business to do well, you have to make the crucial investments. So, Amy, what would you say to somebody who does make that argument? You've kind of already started into it, who does argue, well, I don't think I have the money. Can I just do the bait? Can I just make sure that I'm not clicking on spammy links and stuff like that? What would you say to that person?
It's a mindset, right? So it's discipline within the business. And, one of the things we often say, I mean, again, it's kind of, we just talked about, it just takes one incident. Are you going to wait to be, are you going to wait for it to happen, or are you going to protect yourself so it doesn't happen? And, in this case, it's not whether it will, it's a matter of when, not if, but when.
Tom, let me ask you this. What can a business do if it has been attacked?
Yeah. So the last piece, and this is very helpful to everyone, is that what we call that information management protection. So now that we've protected the firewall, validated who you are, looked at the anti-phishing, the penetration type stuff, the last piece is make sure your data as it is backed up and is viable, meaning that it wasn't a corrupted backup. We've had clients that have been hacked, that have had servers go down, that have been cyber locked. And they go to their partner that they believed was having backups, and they have 3 years of corrupted backups, not one valid database.
Yeah.
Or they go to someone and they say, oh, we've backed up, and we find their most recent copy is 5 months old, right? So one of
Oh,
the things that we've
brutal.
been able to do with clients, and there is the technology out there that
Mhm.
not only will it back up your data and validate it, but we call it kind of like I like to always call it my Harry Potter time turner,
Right.
to twist my time back. And one of the solutions that we've used in the past that has worked great is someone can call us and go, it happened, right? It was Monday at 12 o'clock. We just got cyber locked. We have the ability in our backup to go back 15 minutes prior to the time they were locked, reinitiate a brand new instance of their backup, and instantly quarantine that Trojan that had the 12 o'clock time.
Nice.
So literally, if you work well with a partner and talk about backing up your data, we were
Mhm.
basically able to blow away the server, reload an instance, and instantly quarantine where that bad actor was sitting with a 15 minutes before it was going to activate, and
Wow.
protect them from that without needing to worry about paying a ransom, figuring out Bitcoin, calling the FBI cybercrimes division,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because they don't get back to you actually when you call them. You submit
Of course.
online.
Yeah, it's all online.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's all
Ooh.
online. And then they go, we will let you know if we need
Uh-huh.
any additional
Uh-huh.
information. Please do
Hmm.
not follow up.
Oh, yeah, that sounds very helpful.
Right.
Oh, well, a few of those things that both of you just said, again, make my heart race because I think about
Mhm.
this is the livelihood of so many people. It seems like a no-brainer to
Right.
invest in some of these tools and just follow some of these basic steps that y'all have outlined. So, all right, guys, I know we're trying to keep this short and sweet today, all you Apparelist listeners. Tom, Amy, where do people go to learn more about Clients First? What are some websites you can share, some contact information, anything like that?
Sure. So they can visit us if they're a member of Printing United. They can find out about this particular complimentary test through the printing.org. I think it's programs, and then it's underneath it's the affinity program. That's where our link is at. Right from there, they log in if they're a member, and they can go and start, filling out the form for the test. For general information about Clients First, it's just www.clientsfirst-us.com. And we've got, a pretty robust website that's got lots of information on there about the different tools that we offer, different client stories, anything from ERP all the way through to, this cybersecurity things. And if anyone needs to reach out to me directly, feel free. It's A Servi. So A like Amy, SERVI at clientsfirst-us.com.
Tom, anything you want to add to that? Anywhere else you want to send people?
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's very helpful. Look forward to helping anyone we can.
Yes.
Absolutely. And in case any of you listeners out there missed it, Amy penned a pretty phenomenal article for the Apparelist
Yeah, that was pretty
just a
awesome.
few short weeks ago about implementing an ERP system. I
Yeah.
think again, these are great tools, y'all. So don't let this slide into your junk folder. Don't let this kind of stuff go by the wayside. Well, again, head on over to apparelist.com. We'll provide links for everything that Tom and Amy have talked about in the show notes below this episode. You can find everything there, apparelist.com. Tom, Amy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.